Groovy English Podcast.
Hey there! Welcome back to Groovy English. I'm Chloe.
And I'm Aiden. We share real stories, useful tips, and everyday English to help you grow with confidence.
Wherever you are in your English learning journey, we're glad you're here.
If you're enjoying the podcast, feel free to like, subscribe, or share it with a friend. Let's get started.
Hi, it's Isabella here. And today, I want to share a personal story. How something as simple as keeping a journal helped me speak, think, and feel more confident in English. It wasn't a magic course or an expensive class. It was just me, a notebook, and 10 quiet minutes a day. I started keeping a journal in English about a year ago. At first, it felt weird. I wasn't sure what to write, and I worried about grammar and spelling. But I told myself, this is just for me. No one else will read it. That helped a lot. I gave myself permission to make mistakes. My first entry was super short. I wrote, "Today I feel tired. Work was long. I want to sleep." That was it. Just a few lines. But those lines were mine, and they were in English. I closed the notebook and felt proud. The next day, I wrote about my breakfast. I had toast and tea. I like tea with honey. Again, nothing special. But it felt like I was building something. A habit. A safe space where I could express myself in English. No pressure, no grades. After a week, I found myself writing more. I wrote about my day, my thoughts, and little things I noticed, like the weather, a song I liked, or something funny a coworker said. My journal became my English playground. I wasn't just writing, I was thinking in English. And something amazing happened. Because I was writing every day, I started noticing the same words again and again: tired, excited, delicious, annoying. I saw my patterns, and I wanted to learn new words to describe my feelings better. So I looked them up, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. Soon, I started challenging myself. One day I would describe my day. Another day, I'd try to write a short story. Or I'd write down a conversation I imagined between me and a friend in English. I even tried writing about dreams. That was hard, but fun. Writing in my journal also helped me with sentence structure. I stopped overthinking grammar and started noticing what felt natural. Instead of writing, "I am go to store," I began to feel when it should be, "I'm going to the store." I wasn't studying rules, I was feeling them. After a month, something changed in my speaking. When someone asked me a question in English, I didn't panic. Because I had already written similar answers in my journal. It was like my brain had practiced them already. The words came more easily. One of my favorite things was writing about conversations I had that day, or ones I wished I had. For example, if I didn't say something in English earlier because I was too shy, I'd write it down later. I wanted to say, "Nice to meet you," but I just smiled. The next day, I would try again, for real. I also started doing something called free writing. I'd set a timer for 5 minutes and just write, non-stop, whatever came into my mind. No corrections. No deleting. Just write. It felt like exercise for my brain. And it really helped me stop worrying about being perfect. There were days when I didn't feel like writing. On those days, I just wrote one sentence. Sometimes, that sentence was, I don't feel like writing today. That still counts. It kept the habit going. And habits are more powerful than motivation. My favorite part of journaling was looking back. After 3 months, I flipped through my first pages. I couldn't believe it, my sentences were so short at the start. And now? I was writing whole paragraphs, even stories. Seeing my progress gave me the motivation to keep going. I remember one special day when I wrote about a presentation I gave at work. I wrote, "Today I spoke in English in front of my team." I was nervous, but I did it. That journal entry still makes me smile. It's proof that I was growing, not just in English, but as a person. Sometimes, I decorated my pages with stickers or used colorful pens to make it fun. Learning a language can feel serious sometimes, but when you bring a little creativity to it, it becomes something you look forward to. I also started writing goals in my journal, small ones. Like, learn 5 new adjectives this week, or try to say hello to someone in English today. Writing goals helped me stay focused. And checking them off felt amazing. Now, I don't just write about my day. I also write mini dialogues, new words I want to remember, or reflections like, why do I want to speak English better? It's more than practice. It's a way to stay connected to my why. Sometimes, I even record myself reading my journal entries out loud. That helps me with pronunciation and fluency. I pretend I'm telling a story to a friend. It's a great way to combine writing, speaking, and confidence building, all in one activity. And guess what? I don't write long essays. Some entries are just 3 lines. But those 3 lines every day, they added up. After months of small entries, I became someone who could express ideas, feelings, and stories in English. Looking back, I think journaling helped me slow down. Speaking happens fast. Writing gave me time to think. To notice my words. To explore new ones. It was like building a safe English garden where I could grow without pressure. I also discovered that journaling helps reduce fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of not being good enough. When I write, I'm not afraid. There's no audience. No judgment. Just me and the page. It's peaceful and powerful. I used to think writing was for advanced learners. Now I know it's for everyone. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need a pen, a few minutes, and the courage to begin. Even writing, "I'm tired today," is a win. Over time, I noticed something else. My self-awareness improved. When I journaled in English, I wasn't just practicing language. I was also checking in with my feelings. I wrote about anxiety, about little wins, about goals. English became a language of reflection, not just communication. And because of that, I became more expressive. At first, I only used words like happy or sad. But I wanted to say more. So I learned new ones, like grateful, confused, hopeful, frustrated, peaceful. My emotional vocabulary grew, and so did my ability to connect with others. Another thing I loved was writing about my dreams, the big ones. I'd write, one day, I want to travel to London. I want to walk through bookstores and order coffee in perfect English. It felt far away at first. But writing it made it feel real. My journal also became a tool for celebration. When I understood a movie without subtitles, I wrote about it. When I answered a phone call in English, I wrote about it. I gave myself credit, even for small victories. That kept me going on days when motivation was low. Sometimes I'd read something online, like a quote or a comment, and copy it into my journal. Then I'd write my thoughts about it. This helped me understand context, humor, and tone. And it taught me how to form opinions, in English. When I was having a tough day, journaling helped me let it out. Instead of bottling things up, I'd write, I'm feeling stressed today. Just that helped. And seeing those words in English reminded me, I'm not just learning a language, I'm living in it. After a while, I started adding small daily prompts to keep things interesting. For example, what made me smile today? One thing I want to improve. A kind thing I can say to myself. These prompts help me build routine and variety at the same time. I also began to visualize conversations in my journal. I'd write, if someone asked me, how was your weekend? I'd say, then I'd build a little dialogue. This helped me prepare for real-life moments, because I had already practiced them on paper. At one point, I wrote down questions I wished I could ask in English. Things like, can you explain that again? Or, do you have a recommendation? Then I wrote short answers too. Practicing both sides of the conversation helped me feel more ready to speak. I even used my journal to reflect on TV shows or YouTube videos I watched in English. I'd write, I watched an episode of a cooking show. I liked how the chef said, let's keep it simple. That's a nice expression. By noticing phrases, I remembered them better. There were moments when I felt stuck. I'd write the same things over and over. I went to work. I came home. I feel tired. But even then, I kept going. Because the goal wasn't to impress, it was to build a habit. And habits create momentum. Eventually, I started noticing my writing style. I had a voice. I used humor sometimes, or asked myself questions in the entries. Like, why do I feel nervous today? I wasn't just a student, I was becoming a storyteller in English. Sometimes I'd switch things up and write letters to myself. I'd start with, Dear Isabella, and encourage myself like a friend would. It sounds silly, but it helped me stay positive and kind, especially on days when I felt slow or stuck. I also wrote gratitude entries. I'm thankful for warm tea, quiet mornings, and having time to learn. Practicing gratitude in English made me associate the language with joy and calm, instead of stress or pressure. One unexpected benefit? Journaling helped me prepare for writing emails and messages in English. I got better at structuring my thoughts. I started using phrases like, "I hope this finds you well," or "looking forward to hearing from you." My written English felt more natural. Sometimes I'd go back to old entries and rewrite them. I'd read something I wrote months ago and think, I can say this better now. Then I'd revise it. This helped me see my growth, and also strengthened my editing skills. I remember one entry where I described a vacation entirely in English. I was so proud. We went to the mountains. The air was fresh. I saw a small fox near the trail. That's when I realized I wasn't just translating anymore. I was thinking in English. I also made it a goal to write about new vocabulary. If I learned a word like overwhelmed or enthusiastic, I'd try to use it in a sentence in my journal. That way, the word became part of my world, not just something I memorized. When I struggled with confidence, I wrote about it too. I feel like I'm not improving fast enough. But then, a few days later, I'd read that same entry and realize how much I had improved since then. Journaling gave me proof that I was moving forward. Over time, I created a small collection of my favorite journal entries. I called it My English Moments. These were the entries that made me laugh, cry, or feel especially proud. I still read them when I need a little motivation. I also got curious about idioms and started writing journal entries using them. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. It made my writing more colorful and helped me understand how native speakers talk. When friends asked how I became more fluent, I always told them, journaling. Some laughed, some were surprised. But then I'd show them my old notebooks, and they'd go, "Wow, you really stuck with it." Yes. Because it worked. One cool thing I tried was writing from a different point of view. Instead of writing, I went to the store, I'd write, "She walked to the store and bought apples." It felt like writing fiction, but it still helped my grammar and storytelling. I also practiced describing things around me. I'd sit in a cafe and write, "There's a woman in a red scarf. She's laughing with a friend. The coffee smells like cinnamon." This helped me notice details and find the words to express them. As my confidence grew, I started setting monthly goals in my journal. This month, I want to speak English with a stranger. Or, I'll read one book in English. Writing the goal made it real. And checking it off felt amazing. There was a turning point when I realized my journal wasn't just helping my English. It was helping my identity. I was starting to see myself as a person who uses English, not just someone who studies it. I used to worry about my accent or sounding not native. But in my journal, I had no accent. Just ideas. Emotions. Honesty. That made me realize, fluency isn't about sounding perfect, it's about being understood and being yourself. Sometimes, I even used my journal to plan conversations I was nervous about. If I had to talk to someone at work or send a message in English, I'd write it out first. I'd imagine what they might say, and how I'd respond. That way, I felt ready instead of anxious. It was like rehearsing, but privately, safely, and calmly. One day, I was sitting at a cafe when a tourist asked me for directions in English. Without panicking, I answered confidently. Afterward, I realized I had written that exact kind of conversation in my journal weeks before. All those quiet minutes of practice had quietly prepared me for real life. It was working. Later, I decided to decorate my journal with small doodles and stickers. I made it colorful and fun. I'd draw a coffee cup when I wrote at a cafe, or add a star next to sentences I was proud of. It made journaling feel less like a task and more like a creative project. It became my happy place. Another fun thing I tried was giving each journal entry a title, like a mini blog post. Titles like Rainy Day Thoughts, One New Word, or Why I Love Saturdays. It helped me focus and gave my writing a clear direction. And flipping through those titles now feels like flipping through chapters of my personal English story. Most of all, I learned that journaling isn't just about practicing English. It's about showing up for yourself, being honest, and building a quiet kind of confidence. I never imagined that such a simple daily habit could change so much, not just how I speak English, but how I believe in myself. The best advice I can give is this: start small and stay kind to yourself. Your journal is your space. You don't need fancy words. You don't need long essays. You just need to write, one word, one sentence, one day at a time. Even now, I still journal in English. Sometimes it's in a notebook. Sometimes it's on my phone. It's part of who I am now. It's how I pause, reflect, and grow, both in English and in life. So if you're still wondering if journaling in English is worth it, my answer is a big, joyful yes. Because when you journal, you don't just improve your language, you build confidence, clarity, and a deep connection with yourself. If you're listening to this and thinking, maybe I should try, then please do. Start today. Write anything. A sentence. A question. A feeling. Just begin. Because every sentence you write is one step closer to fluency. Keeping a journal in English has been one of the most useful, personal, and joyful things I've done. It made me fall in love with English, not just as a language, but as a way to express myself. A way to grow. And the best part? It's free. It's private. And it's always there for you, your thoughts, your progress, your English journey, one word at a time. So go grab a notebook. Open a note on your phone. Start with, "Hi. This is my first journal entry." That's all it takes. I'm rooting for you.
Your English is shining brighter by the minute. Hit that next video to keep leveling up your skills. Or dive into our other episodes for more secrets to talk like a pro. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to join the Groovy English crew.